Don't forget to check us out on Patreon, where you'll receive exclusive content to videos that are not available on YouTube. And for those of you that like the one video instead of the 2 video format, you get that as well.
Bam!
For $1.
Bam!
It's $1 a month.
Yep. I think we're cooler than a bag of Cheetos.
You can't even get that for $1.
Hey, that's true. Not hot Cheetos, though. Only like regular Cheetos.
So check us out on Patreon, guys. We hope to see you there. All right, patrons. It's Mars Volta time.
Oh, yeah.
You've spoken. We've heard.
Yep.
So
for quite some time. Dude, y'all have been on our ass for Mars Volta for quite some time. I can't believe you haven't done Mars Volta, especially when we've done anything progressive rock. How about y'all? Y'all have done enough Rush. Dude's Mars Volta. Yeah. They're progressive. They're a real cool, unique, interesting progressive rock band that's modern. Okay, we're going to get to them. We've seen this request quite a bit.
So we're doing Inertiatic.
I think this is off the 2003 album, Delau's in the Comatorium. A lot of you have said, the reason why we're going with this song is because a lot of hardcore Mars Volta fans have said this is a special album. The requests specifically have been all over the place.
Yeah.
We saw Inertiatic, and we kind of just went with it, but this is off a really, really great album by them, apparently, from the perspective of you guys. I think it's their second album. So this is in the beginning of their career. I've noticed that when artists first come on the scene and they're hungry and they're at their rawest, purest form. And typically hardcore fans of the band appreciate that. So this is for the hardcore Mars Volta fans. Now we'll do another poll for them. If y'all don't like this song choice, we'll do something. It's just like we got to get back to Parkway Drive because we just picked that.
That's true.
But this is how we got to this decision. All right.
Yep.
For the hardcore fans. So it says Delau's in the Comatorium is produced by Rick Rubin. Shout out to Rick Rubin.
Yep.
Released in January 24th of 2003. Let me skip ahead here. It's a unified work of speculative fiction telling the first-person story of someone in a drug-induced coma battling the evil side of his mind. That's crazy. And these guys are a progressive rock band here from El Paso, Texas. El Paso, Texas. So shout out to Texas. Also, it's saying this band's music includes elements from a wide variety of genres like hardcore, psychedelic rock. One thing, let me skip down a little bit. One thing that they said that I really appreciated, it was like they're not opposed to being considered progressive. They were saying like people were like, it's not a dirty word to consider them progressive, one of the band members said, because it shows that they're not stagnant. They're always looking to progress their art form. So to me that says they're not necessarily labeling themselves as progressive, but they're not mad at people using that word. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because they're trying to move forward and not just kind of stay stagnant in their sound, maybe.
So the idea of progression in general. Yeah. So Omar Rodriguez, I believe, is who quoted that. So psychedelic rock, jazz elements, and hardcore. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's hear it. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Mars Volta Inertiatic.
It is different, though. It is different. I hear like the progressive elements in there.
I hear the jazz in there.
But it's not right. It's not all progressive though. Progressive, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I agree with that.
I hear a lot of different influences there.
Quickly, already.
The little psychedelic rock in there, too. I hear that, too,
and even, like, I'm not going to say his voice is pop. I do think it has elements of pop in it. To me, it's Maroon 5-ish, just his voice. I'm not saying it sounds pop 100%, but I can hear it having sort of a pop appeal. Right. But I don't look at it as pop. and I hear the jazz, especially with the
the
staccato.
drumming.
It's kind of like a staccato like drum pattern. Ding, ding, ding. You know what I'm saying? So the staccato like drum pattern.
I like that cymbal work. That
The
cymbal work
is
sounds
crazy.
great. I love that. And I love
Crazy.
how this started too.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, and I'm just sort of his voice is the type of voice that I think people could really hate, but I don't. Like, I can hear people being annoyed by his voice, just the way that just stylistically how it sounds,
The tone.
it's a little high pitched, but it's working for me right this second. I think it's just very unique. So that's kind of initially gut instinct what I'm hearing, but the drums are really sticking out to me. How they transition into that sort of the cymbal like work, right? With some of those riffs.
That's what's shining to me right now. That those breakdown, you know, I can't emulate the shit, but it sounds great though.
But I can hear the prog. If anything, I can definitely hear how this could be looked at as prog though, for sure. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So let's get back to it. Interesting. Yeah, this is fly right here.
That breakdown,
That's hard. To be as it goes on, man. I mean, it's different. It's different.
It is different.
I'm gonna give it another listen for sure after this. But his voice to me, because they're from El Paso, Texas, it almost sounds like he's from London to me. Like I feel like in his voice, the way he's singing it, it reminds me of 70s, someone from the 70s. Just the way he's singing certain notes.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just a different level of ambition in the way he's singing it.
Right.
You know, kind of similar to what Freddie Mercury was doing. When we would hear him sing, we heard him perform, you could just tell that he was in his own world. That's kind of how I'm hearing his voice, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think it's different.
I love the way this song sounds in the verse though. In the verse, to me, that breakdown, that drum work, and I guess everyone though, because the guitarist that we're hearing in our left side of our left, I guess it's your right, but I'm hearing that on our side. I'm like, man, even the guitarist is going crazy. The drumming to me is really sticking out.
The drumming
in this song.
is the
but
highlight.
To me, it sounds like a breakdown within the verse. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like it would be like a pre-chorus or like a breakdown type of sound within the song, but it's actually in the verses of the song, which is what I like. That to me is the highlight of this song so far.
When they come out the chorus. Yes. When he comes out of Now I'm Lost and it comes back into the verse. Yeah. And it feels very jazzy in that as well. Yep. You know what I mean? Just with the cymbal work and everything. So who's the drummer? Give us some feedback on who the actual drummer is in the band. Because sometimes, when we look on the wiki and everything,
it's not right.
or wherever, it's just not up to date. But that, to me, that staccato drumming, I think that when you think of this song, I think when we come away from this, we're going to remember that. Yeah. That, to me, is going to make me revisit this song.
Yes, sir.
And really dig into it in more detail, man. So let's keep it going. This is jazz to me. Yeah, this is all jazz. This is all jazz to me. This is all jazz right here.
And it's still, I can hear pride in it. To that odd time signature.
Yeah, that drummer's incredible.
Yeah, this is okay.
But But even in this, like sort of like the dissonance in the guitar work with the drums, dissonance is weird to me. I know,
but to me, this works though.
But typically, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Typically, dissonance doesn't necessarily. I'm a little iffy about it.
Yeah.
It just depends on how it's implemented. But in this is interesting because I'm trying to factor in what they're saying in the lyrics. The now I'm lost is what he's saying, based off of kind of how we know just the concept of the album and this person being in looks like a coma-like state, battling the evils of his mind.
Yeah.
I could see this entering into the evil sector of the person's mind, right? You know what I mean? Just how they incorporated the dissonance. But this is really jazzy to me.
It is, man. And that came out of nowhere for me.
hard.
I was like, man, this is fly. You know what I mean?
I actually think this is dope.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to listen to it, but I'm going to give it another shot, of course. But I don't know if it's something I'm going to listen to, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's like you like it, but you don't know if you like it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's weird. It's weird, but it's like this part of the song, though, to me, this jazzy, whatever you want to call it, because I still hear elements of the prog in there, that odd time signature. I kind of hear that.
Yeah.
But it sounds good, though. I mean, I'm like,
shout out to
but
the
it's
drummer.
different, though, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very different. So
I think it's great. I
Yeah,
think it's
man.
great just because it's good to hear something different and unique. And I think that they're pulling off something that I'm not accustomed to in a really cool way.
Yes.
I think his voice is cool. I think his voice, again, reminds me of Freddie Mercury, but it's his own thing. Mm-hmm. I think the drummer is really going off. I like the dissonance. Even the guitar work is good in this.
Yep.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, it's a lot to process, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I can see why you guys want.
Do I like it or I like it, but I don't know if I like it. It's weird. It's weird. There's elements in it that I like, but I don't know, man.
I like the creativity. I like the I like the sort of ambition in this. That's what I like about it. And I think they're pulling it off. That from a skill.
It sounds good.
From a skillful standpoint, I think that they're pulling it off. That's what I like. Do I like it enough? Do I like it in that I can see myself listening to it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is something, but I'm gonna definitely give it another listen because I just like a lot of elements in it. So, anyways, y'all see what the fuck I'm saying, man. Let's finish it up, guys. It's working. But that drumming is crazy.
It's like it's still groovy though.
They're getting it.
It's still groovy. Yeah, this is, I don't know. This is growing on me now too, though.
That's what I'm saying. I like this song.
Because I didn't like this prior to this. Yeah, this
Is that them? Never mind. Okay. Yeah, man. You know what, man? Here's what I got out of that song. I think that there's a lot of intricacy in the drum. They can play their asses off.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what I got out of that song. All of them.
Yeah.
The drum work, the riffs in that, even his voice, the lead singer's voice, I think is just really, really unique. It reminds me of Freddie Mercury, but I think he was adding obviously his own
Yeah.
his own style,
his
of course,
flair
into
and
it.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But it's they were able to give you, I think, satisfy the prog nerds, right? Satisfy sort of the intricacy in it, just the skill that went into that. But really, they had so many sort of things they added so many things in the music to take off the edge, because I think that's what prog is. It's just like it's almost like some things are so prog that it loses its musical value. Like you need something to take the edge off of the sort of the intricacy of what's happening in the music.
Yeah.
It's almost like they just lose sight of making a good song musically. This to me did that, man. I think that they gave you a lot of skill in this.
Yeah.
From the drummer, from the guitar work, how they meshed it. There's some really cool elements in this, man, that makes me want to look into this further. I think this was dope. I think this is actually more of a natural progression to what's been done in the past as opposed to trying to replicate the past.
Yeah.
Like you could tell that there's elements, there's jazz in this.
I agree with that.
You know, you could tell that there's influence, but we still gonna do us and just build on what's been done before. So this to me is like this is what a modern prog song should sound like. Its own thing.
Yeah.
With and using elements to build off of what's been done before them. So that's where I'm getting out of that. I think that this was a good song. I don't know how y'all gonna feel about this, but this was like, I could tell this is probably, it's got 3 million views. So I could tell, I don't know if this is a commercial.
It's like lukewarm.
Yeah, maybe a mid-tier commercial hit for them. But to me,
you know, I don't have much more to add to that, man. I feel like, you know, when I'm listening to this, man, there's elements that's great about this song, right? And I hear everything that we read, right? The psychedelic type of rock. I hear the jazz influence. I hear the progressive elements in it as well, man. And I think it has everything you like within the song. And I think, to your point, George, I think you really appreciate the creativity of it, you know, and you think it was really meshed really well with being creative, right?
More so, I mean, it's creative, it's skillful, but I actually do think that they added melody. I even liked it. Like, I know you had just said that the chorus is kind of growing on you. I actually really liked how his voice was. To me, it was almost like he came up with that on the spot. Almost, it felt like that to me. Just the freedom that I felt in his voice. It felt like someone was lost in their mind. Maybe even understanding because sort of the idea of what the album is about. But I do think that there was just the breakdown after the staccato drumming, how they came into the verses. I just think there were a lot of things that they did musically, even opening the song up with with those initial riffs right here. Hold on, let me just play that real quick. This right here.
Yep.
Even the keyboard along with these riffs opening in this up. There's a lot of just cool musical elements in this that I think it spans beyond just me saying it's creative for the sake of creative. I just think it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I was saying. Yes, it is creative, but I think a lot of time people they just get lost in skill. Yeah. And they forget to add things that I think musically flow well. And I think they added a lot of intricate shit in here, man, and really infused musical elements that I like to make it listenable to a degree. I don't know how much, I don't know to what degree. Yeah. So I'm gonna go back and listen to it, but I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I hear you, man. You know what I feel like right now, George? I feel like that scene in, I got to give you another analogy, man. I feel like the scene in Back to the Future when he played that Johnny Be Good and he kind of went crazy on it. Mm-hmm. It sounds great, but people weren't ready for it. That's kind of how I feel. I was like, there's elements in here I think is really dope. The jazz influence in there I thought was really, I think they incorporated it really well. And there's so many different things that I like about it, but I think you're right, man. I think I got to listen to it again, and because the song kind of grew on me as I was listening to it. I was like, you know what, the chorus is kind of growing on me because I didn't really like the chorus at first. I just liked the verses. And
remember when I said I think that, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Remember when I said I think I can see how people would hate the way his voice sounds because it has sort of a whininess to it. Yeah, I can completely understand someone not liking that initially, or just period. But that's how I felt initially. But then as I got into it, I'm like, yo, it's kind of Frankie Mercury-ish. It's kind of groovy, and he's like, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, but that's basically it, man. So I feel like I think this song could be something I can really like, but I think some songs just have to grow on me, man. And there's so many good things about this song. That's what I was and elements and stuff like that that I'm not saying that I'm not writing it off. So that's kind of how I feel about it, but I'm still kind of confused about what I just heard. Yeah. So I feel because it's so creative and it's different from what I'm used to listening to, I think I'm just not ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So I think I have to train my mind and listen to it a little bit more for me to kind of, because as the song was playing, I was like, you know what? I guess I do kind of like this, but I'm just so confused. Yeah. My brain is confused with this song. It really is, man. I don't know what other way to say it. I feel so confused with my feelings. I get what you're saying, man. I guess what I'm trying to do now that we've had X amount of experience
it's almost like the bottom line is I hate to compare bands, you know what I mean? Because I understand how that creates a frenzy in the fucking comments. But at the end of the day, that's just how you have to, having something to compare it to lets you kind of know where it's at. I'm comparing this to modern, they were more prog metal, right, between the Buried and Me and then Dillinger Escape Plan.
Yeah.
Now, we only heard a song each from those bands, but this is a modern prog rock, not technically metal, but prog rock band. And I think that this was cohesive in comparison to what I heard with them. I think that was just, to me, the songs that we heard, just to me sounded like what I was saying in this. It just sounded like skill and technicality, but lacked musical cohesion. You know what I mean? Between A Buried and Me and the Dillinger Escape Plan songs we heard. But I feel like this was a version of that, but like toned down to a degree, but still intricate enough for people to appreciate the skill and flow musically. That's what I felt with this song. But that doesn't mean that it's playlist. Yeah. It just means that it's worth me going into it more.
Sounds good though. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's what I'm saying. I'm so confused, man.
But either way, man,
with my emotions.
But do you think this is a good introduction to Mars Volta? I think this is a good introduction.
I think it's a great introduction.
You know what I mean?
I think it's a great introduction.
It's just real though, man. Y'all got to understand, man. People, Patreon, you guys know, but people on YouTube will just kind of run into us or watch us casually, don't understand what's happening. They don't understand the premise of the channel, us literally reacting to something on the spot, going back and listening to things, to bands that were legendary at the time. They're not factoring in times have changed. Things are different, you know, between just music has changed and someone from this time period listening to something old and right here on the spot.
And we're trying to be genuine too.
And we're trying to be as honest as we can. You know what I mean? What's happening. So that's what people have to factor in. I think people who have that understanding appreciate reactions like this. People who don't tend to, they get attitudes. You know what I mean? They lash out, and it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I don't know what that means to you guys, but we're going to get back to Mars Volta, the Mars Volta. Let us know what you thought of this in the comments, guys. Give us some feedback. I know this is a request that's been going on. You guys are probably mad that we didn't do a poll, but sometimes we like to jump in. I know it's a request that's been
we want to get you guys content sometimes too, because when we do polls and stuff like that, there's a null there, right? There's a null there.
It does delay us, so we like to just jump in. We look at a few platforms, what's been kind of big on certain platforms. Like I said, the Loud's in the Comatorium was... A lot of people said that was a great album for them. It's early in their career when they were hungry. So these are the things we were factoring in. So let us know, though. So y'all know what it is. That's it, guys. I'm George. That's Ryan. Lost to Vegas.
We out.
We out.